from WQAD, News 8 at 10 starts now.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Megan Noe. Topping our news tonight, a car crash in Moline sent 3 people to the hospital this afternoon. The accident happened around 3 p.m. on 16th Street and 38th Avenue. Police say a truck hit the retaining wall, which caused it to flip over and then roll several times into the parking lot of Homebound Healthcare. No word on the passengers' conditions tonight. One person is dead after a hit and run in Joe Daviess County last night. It happened around 10:30 in rural Scales Mound, Illinois. The sheriff's office says a driver hit a parked car and a person who was standing outside the vehicle. That person, Alex Bulk, later died at the hospital. Deputies have a vehicle in custody and are currently speaking to a person of interest. Anyone with information should contact the sheriff's department or Crime Stoppers. 2 people are in the hospital after a shots fired call and a car crash in Davenport early this morning. Davenport police responded to the 1000 block of West 6th Street just before 5 a.m. Gunfire hit several parked cars and a house, but no one was hurt by the shots. However, during the gunfire, a car crashed into a parked construction trailer. 2 people were taken to the hospital for serious injuries from that crash. A Quad City couple is keeping the memory of their friend alive by doing what he loved most. News 8's Johnny Gendrich explains how they're using a car show to keep others from drunk driving.
It's set up strictly for the drag strip, and it's a whole lot of fun.
Nearly 50 cars showed up to show off at the 2nd annual Cruise In for a Cause car show.
Hello! You will be number 22. And Andrew, I will write you down for a door prize as well.
And it's all for a man who would have loved to be here.
The car is a 1994 Acura Integra. It was our friend T's who was killed by a drunk driver.
2 years ago, Tiangelo Gerard was riding a motorcycle in Davenport when a drunk driver hit and killed him.
We put on this big car show because he loved cars.
His friends, Samantha and Jake Harry, organized the show in his loving memory.
A lot of these people are friends and family, and we've actually met a lot of new people as well that just come out for car shows.
We're just doing the car the way we think he would have wanted it.
A special car, Tiangelo's, fixed up by his old friend Jake.
This would be my 2nd friend I've lost to drinking and driving, which is why we put on this show now to do our very best to raise some sort of awareness.
A wash bucket with products from O'Reilly's.
All the proceeds from the show go to Mothers Against Drunk Driving of Iowa.
That was one of the things that we actually came out here specifically for.
I just really hope that it opens somebody's eyes so one day they're out drinking, they think, man, I shouldn't be driving.
To hopefully save a life.
We move on like he would have liked us to. We always keep him in our hearts.
In Davenport, Johnny Gendrich, WQAD News 8.
The man who killed Gerard is currently serving a jail sentence of up to 25 years. Gerard would have been 26 years old. Well, fall may be right around the corner, but it sure doesn't feel that way outside. Meteorologist Taylor Graham is in the Weather Center tonight with our first check of the forecast. Taylor?
Yeah, this afternoon we have more of a summer-like feel in the air. Highs today in the Quad Cities topped out in the mid-80s at 84, so it was a bit on the warm side all across the Midwest, actually. Not seeing much cloud cover this evening. We'll maybe see a few more clouds pass through overnight tonight, but overall the sky should remain pretty clear. Temperatures now falling into the upper to mid-60s right now, 62 in Burlington, a little bit cooler there. We'll continue to fall back down into the lower 60s tonight, but overall expect things to remain quiet. It won't be as quiet though tomorrow night. I'll have the details on our storm chances in just a few minutes. Megan?
All right, thanks Taylor. One of the tallest buildings in the Quad Cities will be coming down tomorrow. Tear down of the old Lodge Hotel starts tomorrow. The Bettendorf property has been empty since last year, and now the developer is ready to move forward with clearing the site. Russell Construction is still considering what to do next with that 8-acre site. Hundreds of people lined up on 15th Avenue in downtown East Moline today to get a look at this year's Mexican Independence Day Parade and Fiesta. This month is National Hispanic Heritage Month, and today's event wrapped up the Quad Cities' annual Fiesta Week. Attendees and small business owners say this is the perfect way to get out in the community and celebrate Hispanic heritage.
It's important because you need to be involved with your community, and being such a strong population of having that Hispanic that Hispanic input where you have the Mexican restaurants, the little ice cream shops. You need that to have that cultural inspiration throughout the Quad Cities.
The parade is put on by the local chapter of the League of United Latin American Citizens. Dozens of people headed to Modern Woodman Park this afternoon to take a long ride on the big wheel. Community members signed up to ride the Ferris wheel for an hour at a time while collecting donations for the Scott County Mental Health Court. The new program is an effort to cut down on the number of people with mental health problems who then end up in jail.
The idea is that this program supports efforts to break that cycle of people getting into trouble and getting into jail, but not getting the help that they need to empower themselves to get their lives back on track.
The Mental Health Court received a $50,000 grant from Genesis to help get started, but right now there are only enough funds to run it for about a year. Man's Best Friend was celebrating the season at today's DOGTOBERFEST. The event brought hundreds of people and their pets to the beer stube in LeClaire this afternoon. There was plenty of German food, drinks, and even some wiener dog races. And attendees say it was a great chance to raise money for some much-needed upgrades at Crow Creek Dog Park.
We need some fencing repair. Our fencing now is 10 years old, so we need to really make some repairs because some of the little dogs are sneaking under, so that's one of our first priorities.
The first 150 people also received free doggy gift bags. Now to continuing coverage of a few national stories we've been following. An explosion rocked a Manhattan neighborhood late last night, injuring 29 people, but it's not being linked to any international group. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is calling this an act of terrorism. Authorities believe the blast was caused by an explosive device in or near a dumpster. A few blocks away, investigators also found a pressure cooker with what appeared to be a cell phone duct taped to it. Authorities say this was a deliberate act. Less than 24 hours before the New York explosion, a pipe bomb went off in a trash can along the Seaside Park boardwalk in New Jersey. A race was scheduled for that morning, but it was called off and the boardwalk evacuated. No one was hurt in that incident. Authorities say there is no specific evidence linking the blasts in New Jersey and New York City. However, evidence from both explosions was sent to the FBI for examination. ISIS is now taking responsibility for an attack in a Minnesota mall yesterday. A man armed with a knife hurt 9 people there. Witnesses say the man made references to Allah and asked a person if they were Muslim before launching his attack. None of the victims were killed, but the suspect was shot dead by police. Coming up on News 8 at 10, close contest. Just how close the presidential race is getting and why Clinton's spending time in a state she's already leading. Your voice, your vote headlines are coming up next.
You're watching News 8 at 10 with Megan Noe.